Hello, today is December the 10th and I just finished assembling my latest design. It's a power supply for two active probes from YOKOGAWA. It can supply every active probe from YOKOGAWA. Almost a year ago I received from a good friend of mine two of these beautiful probes. Go up to 1 gigahertz with 7 picofarads or even less, I think, capacitive loading. But the problem is there was no power supply with them. I didn't receive the power supply, and for a standard scope, standard scope will not provide any supply for this YOKOGAWA probes. So I designed a power supply that can support two probes simultaneously. Looks like that. It can provide plus and minus 12 volt on each probe with up to 500 milliamps on each rail. So that means almost 1 amp total on a probe. I try to make it as small as possible, as compact as possible, to not get too much space on my relatively small desk I have here. I used an extruded aluminum case that I had with two sides, and both the front and back panels are made with PCBs. The whole thing looks like that. It is completely isolated. It has overcurrent and over voltage protection with PTC fuses and TVS. The relatively small heat sinks I isolated from the PCB, and because they are not enough if I need the full power of almost 2 amps from these 4 regulators, I use the case, the top of the case, as a heat sink, like that. These are sill pads, a sandwich of sill pads, mounted with a thermal compound glue. I made this thing before. I used this technique before, and it works perfect. You can see even where the heat sinks press in the sill pads. Here I'm testing it. I'm just using the calibration output of my scope. The whole thing is terminated with 50 ohms. Unfortunately, my scope does not have this feature, so I had to terminate externally. Removing the power, and that's it. Again, this is for the whole series of YOKOGAWA probes. The current probes, everything can be used with this power supply. If anybody needs the Gerber files and the BOM, drop me a mail. Cheers.